here we are to talk about what? That it's just this. Already the whole time, it's just this. And there seems to be something else, right? There seems to be something interfering with just this, something telling a story about something other than just everything just as it is and not going anywhere, not needing anything, not moving to anything else, but just already what it is. No story, nothing known about what is just here, because how could we know? It's never been here before, right? All the stories about what's been here, they kind of have a life of their own, but this is really what's actually, that's the real life, right? Just this, the Zoom meeting, just us being is what is, and nothing else. So that's what we're here to talk about, or not. Oh, hi, Ghislaine. You're staying up late tonight.
Yeah.
Nice of you to stop by. So if anyone has anything on the mind or not on the mind.
I had procedure on my eyes this morning where they do this thing with a laser. And despite the fact that they numb your eye, they don't actually numb your head or the rest of your body. And as the laser is like ticking away on my eye, and I can feel that, it's very challenging to be nearly impossible to be in the witness seat, just sort of observing the body and things just being it, my mind becomes consumed with the feeling, in that case, pain and discomfort, not excruciating pain, but definitely discomfort. Whereas up till that moment, I was very much having a day, I'll just say living in the teachings, right? Living in that, everything is just what it is. I was running late. Well, it is what it is. This is just what it is. It's no, it was all good. And then it all disappeared when that laser hit my eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's also why, well, one of the aspects of it, why here we don't really talk about so much, having a practice of being the witness, being in that state. We don't, or at least I don't, I'll speak for myself. Talk about, having that experience of being the witness, because it's, okay. Sorry, letting people in here. Because it's not really possible to be. It's really, it's maybe a good practice to do that and make, produce good results sometimes. But that the experience of having an experience is already a problem. It's already difficult. It's already something that has within it the urge and the need to change And that's really what we are pointing to here, is that it's that experience that isn't actually real. But it seems real, because particularly when you're having a laser shot in your eye, I mean, or some, But I'm also kind of pointing that, we're always having laser shot in our eye, in this experience, there's always something, it's constant, really. It doesn't feel like it because we get distracted with whatever we're doing. It feels different all the time. But underneath, there's really always that sense of, I need this to be different. I need this to be better. And I need this particular experience to be over with. That's the feeling of me. And I think that's why we're all, in a way, why we're here right now, because we're familiar with that experience, but that's not what's really just here. It's an experience. It's like a dream. It's an illusion. And what's here, what just is what's already the case, no matter what is going on. And that's what seems to be hidden in a way, right? There seems to be a veil, and it seems like what we're experiencing is something different. It's like this, whatever, the dream, the movie of being not unbounded, but bounded by my experience. So, but I don't know, we could talk more about what Joe just related, because I mean, it's a beautiful description of how this experience is. It's always being felt, and how it's always showing up in different ways, but it's always there. Seems like it.
And it resonated when you just said, I need this experience to be over, because that was exactly with the laser in my eye this morning, was like, I need this to be over soon. Like, this has to end fast.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm otherwise generally fairly accepting of, like, okay, this is what's happening right now in the moment, and I'm okay with that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although, I mean, even if we're having a good experience for them, there's always a feeling of, geez, I hope this stays like this and doesn't, or I hope it maybe gets even better. This is good, but it's always that feeling of it's just not right. It's like never the Goldilocks zone, right? It just isn't.
Yeah.
And then there's always more story. And there's always, okay, where can I go in this story to get this better? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, the judging of the reaction is also a story that goes over and over.
Yeah.
It's everything is momentary, so it's not comfortable, of course, and it's pretty normal that you just you don't move when someone goes into your eyes and you're really present, expecting that it's come over soon, but after it's done, however nervous you could have been, it's already finished.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's, which is a funny thing about it. I mean, it's because we're feeling like the me, who's the one that it's all happening to, and the one where the story is going on all the time, like telling me what's going on, like commentating, like reporting. But that reporter is never really, it's always one step behind or one step ahead, whatever. It's just that it's never really what's just here. What's just here is going on without any of that. I mean, that's what we call the story, really.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have flashes of that, where we stop thinking, or just, the thinking shuts down for a moment, and it's, hey, the eyes are open, and wait, this is here already. Just here, without having to have the commentary or the analysis or the pushing it one way or the other, or trying to, that all that energy is just going on in a dream, in a story, but it's not what's really here. We can see that in moments. And it's right now. And there's no way to get to it.
And there's really no good reaction to a procedure that involves, you know, being that's just normal, that there's nothing wrong with the fact that unless they shoot you and you go, how do we say that, you have an anesthetist, you know, when you go,
yes, yeah,
anesthesia, no problem, do whatever, you know, that's of course.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I hope you feel better soon.
thank you. I felt relieved as soon as it was over, but they did also have to give me some Tylenol because that was like a pounding headache.
Yeah.
Please.
If you can't get to it and you can't point it out and you can't know it, but something is saying that, is saying you can't get to it, you can't point it out, you can't know it, which is something, I would say, separate than what it's speaking about. So what is that speaking here about what it can't know? It doesn't make sense.
Right. That's the story. That's the experience of me asking the question, what is going on here? How can I understand it? How can I interpret it to myself? That's the one, that's the illusion. There aren't any, that's not here. There are no questions about what is going on, right? There's no explanation. The questions, the answers, the explanation, right, is all coming from an assumption that I know something. I'm here and I'm having this experience that I know about, and I can ask questions and I can get to something about it. That's the experience of being separate, of being the one who's separate from my experience and needs to know something about it, right? But there isn't anything about it. And there isn't any separate one who knows or who is.
But who's saying that?
Yeah.
You said it.
Exactly. Who's saying that?
And I agree with it, but
yeah, I know.
Said it. Who said that? It seems like it's like we're just making it up.
Right.
That there's nothing here and there's nowhere to go. It is itself made up.
Right. Well, it's a story. So everything is a story, and every story is made up. That's the whole point. We're talking about what isn't made up. The only thing that isn't made up is what we call just what is. And there's nothing to know about that. No one has ever seen it. No one knows it. And it's this. It's you asking the question. Is what it is. Yeah.
That I still hear that as a story. It's still when I hear it from people speaking it like, well, this is the way it is. Like, this is the way it is. Here's the truth.
Right.
Or this is the way it is. You can't know it, which you can't really argue against.
Yeah.
But it's a story. I mean, why would I think that, not something else, if I were going to think anything at all? It's just a story.
Right. Well, I agree. I mean, that's
okay.
Any intelligent me would be saying that. Okay. That is So the questions are continually generated automatically. I mean, with that, you can't not have the question. But but how can I just get to the source of it, the essence of it, without all this story, right? You're trying to, but that is the illusion, that because that is already started from the idea that I'm outside of this somehow and I can know it or figure it out or get it straight or make it, it's doing, right? That I can, there's already someone doing something about it, right? The one who's asking the question. But there just isn't an answer. There are no words. There are no stories that address this, because all the stories just talk about themselves. Or maybe, I don't know, you could talk more and maybe we can.
I feel like it's like you just don't get one word. You just look around and you don't get, I mean, you're communicating these things and there's a resonance, and that's a helpful point. That so there's something happening there and who knows what, but it's like you don't get one word. You just
Yes, exactly.
period, like
Exactly.
but that feels like not enough for
Of
me.
course.
Then it's like, well, no, I got, what does she mean? What do I mean by that? What's not one word? What it's like, it's period.
Exactly, Jenny, exactly.
Not one word.
Yes, one word is too much.
Mhm.
And the me experience, the me feeling reality is that I just need one word. I just need something to grab onto, just some little, I just need, it can't hear, there's no words. It needs, because of course, what we're always saying is there's nothing. It's nothing. This is not giving you anything. I don't have anything. There isn't anything. And of course, there's that, the me is just wanting something. And it's hearing this as something, because it already is something. It's starting as something, and so I need something else. I need just a little bit more something. But it's already what it is. So there isn't any something that's going to make it what it is. You see, this me is already feeling, it's not what it is. And if I can just hear that, just hear it, or just get that one little something to get, make it what it needs to be, because I'm already feeling it's not it, but it only already is it. This is it. It doesn't get any more it. There just isn't any more it. There never is. And that's the thing, that it can't be seen by me at all. But it's also, we say it's obvious, and maybe there's a resonance here. And I could also say, you already know this, which is why I'm, cheeky enough to sit here and talk about it, because I know I can't tell you, and there's nothing that I can give you or anything, but you already know it because you are it. And it is the most obvious thing, but it's never obvious to the one who's trying to get it. The one who already feels like, I just don't quite have it. This is it.
Yeah, I liked what you said, Jenny. What I have appreciated so much about Nkosi when he talks, it brings me just to a full stop. So it's like there's no naming anything, there's no words. It's just a full stop. And there's peace and rest for the me in a full stop. Well, that's how it comes across to me. It's sort of nowhere to go.
That full stop is this right here, right now.
Mm. Mm.
There only is the full stop.
Mm.
And then there's stories that show, the full stop shows up as stories. And the me feels like a story, you know, there's a story of me that somehow seems to be real, seems to be the experience. But that's not.
Well, here the full stop brings me to a point where the stories are not, there's no stories.
Yeah. Because where are the stories? Stories aren't here. There are no stories here.
Well, once you use words and descriptions and judgments, you're using words to create a story.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to ask, I heard a non-dual speaker last night, talking about something like burn in it. I was wondering, is there a place, say for example, maybe, I don't know if using Joe's example is a good idea, but when you're in a distressing situation, is it helpful to think just burn in it? Because my normal reaction is want to escape, get away, fix it, change it. And I thought just burning it was helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that, well, first of all, that's not your normal reaction to just want to escape. That is the me.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, playing with your words a little bit.
Yeah.
To point out that we all talk that way. We say that, oh, it's my reaction, but really that's the me's reaction. It's not even the me's reaction. The me is already reacting. The me is a reaction. The me's reacting to everything, to its own story. So yeah, of course. And it's always wanting to avoid and wanting, or to get to the free space or whatever it's doing. That's the move. It's always moving. That's the me. So I'm just saying that's not actually you. It's not what I would say is you. But
yeah.
As far as whether that would be a helpful thing to burn in it, you know, that's not exactly what I tend to talk about. But as a practice, you know, sure, that would be more like, you know, a kind of a mindfulness practice or a awareness practice or a, you know, and those things are good. That's within the story, I would say, you know.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. But it's, oh, okay, I'm getting the big, all right, 10 minutes. We get to have the big race. Anyway. You're like, oops. Okay, I lost my screen. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I wonder too if one can really know what will be the reaction of a distressing situation, because it depends. It's like if you are to drown on the water or anything, it depends what's happened. And is there any usual way to a distressing situation?
I'm sorry, Gillian. I'm trying to get my
Okay.
gallery back. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, here it is. Okay. So you're asking, is there a basic way to get out of the
Mm.
distressing situation.
Who has a basic way? We never know until the distressing situation
Yeah.
presents itself, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like it's like we think that we always do the same, or we always, it's not that, I'm not that sure of it,
Mhm.
because every situation, there's no room, there's only what's happened. It's very, if it's surprising, it's very close, and nobody knows exactly, unless it's like a psychological issue that been there, done that for I don't know, for years. Life is happening like, I don't know.
Yeah. I
So
would say, go ahead.
no, that's okay. So try to predict, if I were to have this sickness or this thing, I would do. Nobody knows what they would do, because first, there is no one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right. There is no one, and there's no one who knows what to do. And we're having distressing situations all the time coming up. I mean, I would say this me experience is a distressing situation already,
Yeah.
because it isn't free and it doesn't feel, free enough.
Yeah. Unless you stop listening to like hypothetical questions and just be full on life, and I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, but the me can't do that, because the me is a hypothetical situation, and it is thinking all the time, and it is trying to figure out what to do about what's going on. And a lot of what's going on is very distressing, and in these distressing situations that are particularly, trying, there's going to be some reaction to it. The
Yeah.
me is going to, that's going to happen.
But you don't know what you will do,
Mhm. But
because
it'll
you're
get,
not there. In reality,
Yeah.
you're not there. You may
exactly.
think that usually you always, those types of words that we use, all, never, all, always, but is that true? I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that, there will be a reaction, as we all know. We
Yeah.
and things have happened in life, and things, we react, so-called react, but there isn't anybody reacting. There's just a reaction going on.
Yeah.
Life going on, the story going on. It's happening right now in this meeting. There's
Yeah.
conversation and people talking and going back and forth. But
And we don't know where it's going,
No.
and we don't know what usually we would do.
Well, it isn't going anywhere.
No, it's
point.
not.
It's just here, and we can't. And it's not even here. It's not any here that we know about. It's just a here that's beyond anything we could. It's too here. And there's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing going on. But it is showing up as apparently things happening and things responding, and this feeling of trying to make it better. Trying to make that change that will just make it golden. And
There's nothing one can do. Change happened by themselves. It is what the message is saying.
yeah, you're not involved.
No, no, and even when you think, somebody may tell you, oh wow, you're so courageous, you know, courageous.
Courageous, yeah, beautiful.
Courage. Well, what could you do if you were cornered? You had to go to through something.
Oh yeah.
You didn't. No, you're not courageous.
Mhm.
And you may think that you couldn't do something. You don't know. You're not there. So.
Oh yeah. And that might be why a lot of us are here in this meeting tonight, or meetings like this, is because we've, you know, it's become obvious that you know, I can't make myself courageous, and I'm not really, you know,
No.
don't have much control about anything. Actually, there's no control. There's just whatever appears to be happening. And it doesn't matter, because whatever goes on in this apparent happening, it's just this. It never becomes anything but just this. And just this is what the one in the dream is always trying to get to. That's the secret.
Mm.
But you can't get that.
No, it's gone. It's happened and it's already gone.
Already gone. Yeah, like the Eagles song. Great.
Where it's like when you were just talking, what it made me think of is like courageous, fear, like anxious, happiness, like even all those are words that were created seemingly to like explain concepts that I don't even understand where the concepts blossomed from. And just as easily, this whole experience could have been totally different if the happenings had been different. You know, I don't know if any of that makes sense, but like and I guess that's why my experience is different than your experience, maybe, or somebody from a different culture, because the trends or happenings. And anyways,
No, I
it
totally
just
understand.
makes
Yeah.
everything so ungraspable. It's like the whole story is just been created to be, and it's this way, but it could have been so totally different. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, okay, so we're gonna lose our feed in about, 20 seconds or something, so we'll just all jump back on. But well, okay. That was I have I don't want to start another thought in between and have us. Oh well, so now we can just all meditate. But yeah, the story builds itself, and then it makes it seem like it's real, but it really is random. It's all based on what is the story that was already being told, and now I think that's real, but it could have been any story. And all that, like you say, we all have different stories, and how the story that I am living seems real, but how did that story, start? When did I start believing that